What's up guys, BSG Trekfriend 88 here. Many of you have wondered what I have for a sound system in my 2003 Ford Escape and what my setup is in general. Well, I did a review on this a few weeks ago, but this is the Pioneer head unit I have. It is the AVIC 940 BT. It's their middle of the road unit from last year, 2012 at least. Again, quick things are it has dedicated iPod dock with album art, so again works just like an iPod. Go to albums. Oops. Get to you in a second. Armageddon. There you go. Okay. Got your track listing, all that fun stuff, album art. Awesome. And then of course it has GPS capabilities, which to be honest, this map doesn't look as good as the one that I had from a couple of years ago. It is less detailed, but it has the sky. No, that's not really a great thing. Anyway, so that's the radio. Now, hooked up to it, I have a pair, or actually 4 Alpine 6x7 speakers, so the oval speakers, if you will. They're rated for up to 150 watts a piece. I honestly forget which model they are. They're just middle-of-the-road Alpine speakers. I don't need amazing speakers because I don't have them amplified. I'm not that kind of a person. But I do have in the back here, which I'll jump cut to now. This is a few years old at this point. This is an Alpine MPR M500, I think. How about we look at the model number there? Yep. It's a 500 watt mono amplifier driving this beauty here. This is a 10-inch Rockford, or Type R. I call it Rockford just because it's R. Type 10, or Type R10 subwoofer, 10-inch obviously. In this Bassworks cabinet, which I got when I still worked at Best Buy, so I got a discount. In my opinion, this is one of the best ported, I call it a case, but some people call it boxes, whatever. Subwoofer boxes you can buy, very solid. This thing survived an accident in the Jeep, and also wasn't treated very well in the Jeep because it didn't fit that good with the tailgate. A couple of scuffs here and there, but I mean, this thing is solid. You could probably drop this a few feet and not have to worry about it breaking, unlike some sub boxes. Now I have all the wires being run up to the front there. Now, how am I doing that? How are they all hidden? Well, let's see. Shut this. I'm cheating. I didn't professionally install it and spend a couple $100, but the wires terminate at the seat, and then they come out here. They're under the seat. Now, I could have run them over there under the trim. Unfortunately, there really isn't that much space with that trim. I mean, there's literally no space at all. I mean, when I had a Corolla and a Blazer, the trim came off and you could do what you want with it, but unfortunately, not much room. So I have them under the floor mat so no one will step on them or kill them. Then it goes underneath / behind the cup holder that folds out here, which I'm not going to open. Oh, fuck it, I'll open it. You're going to see. Shuts perfectly fine and opens fine. No problems at all. And then I have them going. Right here they're sticking out because I didn't want to take this bolt off. That and I'm too lazy. But so they're going here. And then they're actually underneath the panel here. Not the panel, the center console. They're underneath it. They come out here, as you can see. Not really visible. Well, this guy kind of popped out. But you get the idea. You really can't see anything. And this, I gotta do something back here. It's the power supply for the CB radio, which I'll go over in a second. But I want to have access to that. I forgot to mention, these two guys here are the microphone and GPS antenna. I have those cables running just underneath the dash here. I mean, you just pop them in, you push them in. Unfortunately, they pop out a little bit here, but not too worried about that. And then they run down along the door frame here, sticking out a little bit in certain places, and then underneath here, and then of course up to the radio. So yeah, I forgot about that, sorry. So then of course, that only leaves the subwoofer cable, which is running actually in the trim. That was the only thing I had room for. And then it goes up underneath through a hole in the firewall, and of course run through the engine compartment, or engine bay, into the battery. Now, this is my latest install. This is a Uniden 520XL Pro CB radio. It's you know, your middle of the road, not even middle of the road, high-end entry level, I would call it, CB radio. If you know how a CB radio works, you know how they work. It has a PA system, which I also installed. There's a simple indoor-outdoor horn trumpet speaker in the engine compartment. And yeah, Just screwed it in, screwed this guy in, and you know, there you go. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I think the placement of it works just fine. I think it's simple, it's out of the way, it's very small. I mean, from the driving position, you look over, it's awesome. I mean, I got my CV, my air control, and my audio. Oh, by the way, the iPod, my iPod cable is actually underneath this. Wonder if I can scoot down here, get a view. There you go. See, there's the iPod Classic, and everything runs out the back and then up to the radio. I drilled a hole. This actually comes out. It's 4 screws. Yeah, that's 2. 4 screws, and this whole thing pops out. It's hollow, and behind it is a metal skeleton, and then of course, you know, wires for the 12 volt. Now I actually pulled out the 12 volt. This thing requires a direct connection to the car power supply. I didn't want to do that because I didn't want to run another cable through the firewall, but I bought a simple 2-pronged cigarette lighter, and I don't want a thing sticking out here. Like, see how nice and clean this is, right? I didn't want to have another wire sticking out, especially here. So what I did was I actually disconnected it from behind, which is very simple. It is now behind this, connected to the cigarette lighter adapter, and I've electrical taped it so nothing will ever touch it. Basically, it's the same as it being here, only it's behind the console. So the only problem is this. I mean, if you just wedge something in between, you know, the cover and the wall here, this won't pop out. I'll deal with that later. But now you have a very clean install. Very simple, very clean, as I said before, professional, somewhat looking. The only drawback is that when I popped this panel off to install this radio the first time, it scratched this up. Now, if any of you out there have any ideas to get rid of this scratch or these scratches, I mean, they're literally like dings. Like, you can't buff that out. I mean, Now, right away, one of the things that I bought for this to add some character to it is a bug shield. There's many types, but what the hell is this? This is an ABS bug shield. Just go to their website or any website or Amazon or whatever and just Google bug shield. You can find them for your own vehicle. Again, looks pretty snazzy as opposed to having nothing on there. Adds some oomph to this vehicle. And then, ta-da! I'm missing the engine cover still, and I refuse to pay $60 on eBay. I could go to a junkyard and maybe find one, but oh, what's this? Cold air intake. Now, Ford Escape has its mass airflow sensor right here. Then you have your idle control valve and your throttle body. But here is a cold air intake, which, to be honest, it's really not really cold air, but it is a larger filter. It's more surface area, again, on the inside. So your engine is getting much more fuel, or much more air to go in mixture with the fuel. Excuse me. So basically, your engine's going to run a lot smoother and a lot happier. It's not necessarily going to give you a huge improvement. You might get 1 more horsepower, if that, on a model such as this, and it does sound a lot better. Your engine sounds louder because it's getting more air. It's happier. It's kind of like comparing breathing through a normal straw versus breathing through a straw that you would use to drink an icy. It's that bigger, thicker, wider straw, so you can get more liquid. This gets more air, engine runs happier, maybe an extra horsepower. Now, also one minor note, you see the rubber band holding it up. The unit came with no material or ideas to mount it, so if I were to take that rubber band off, it would literally just be hanging there or wedged against the metal siding there, bending the tube here. So I have a rubber band, and to be honest with you, for right now it works just fine. I will replace this eventually, but we'll see what happens. I haven't really noticed too much of a gas mileage increase, because the final thing that I've done is purchased a nice set of General Grabber AT2s. Now, these are tires that I've been eyeing for a while as a replacement for the Jeep when I had the Jeep, but obviously we know that that guy's no more. I paid $600 total for 4 of them, and they're awesome. A little bit more road noise than I would have anticipated, but that's to be expected with tread as aggressive as this. But I love them. It's a lot better than what I had on here before, that's for goddamn sure. Of course, in order to have a CB radio, you need an antenna. So I have this Midland 1854, I think it is what it is, antenna. Pretty straightforward. And what I've done to run this, open up the tailgate. By the way, zombie defense, gotta love it. The antenna goes to here, and I've zip tied it to that little nook and cranny there. Now I've run it right here where there's very minimal contact between the door and this. In fact, there isn't any. This doesn't rub at all when it shuts. Okay, see how it lifts up? Now I put the wire on the outside of the rubber and a little bit of water dripped through. So then I figured, okay, I'll slice this a little bit, and then when it shuts, you know, it forms, sorry I keep lowering the camera, it forms a better seal. And I've tested it with a hose, pouring water on this, way more than your average rainstorm, and it was fine. So then of course, you know, I had it have it under here, under the lip. It goes down, it comes out here. I use this. This is actually, you unscrew this to take this panel off, and I think that's also to change your light or your light bulb if you have to. But I simply unscrewed this and then screwed it in to tighten against the wire here so it doesn't move. And of course, ta-da, sorry, shut off the camera. Ta-da, goes underneath here, and then of course goes, you know, underneath the seat, and as I said before, it goes over there. And that's pretty much it. That's my 03 Escape. What else have I done with it? Oh yeah, I have a glass back exhaust, which there's the aftermarket cat, and then there's the exhaust. It terminates just there. I haven't found a tip for it yet because it's too long to go out the side, but we'll work on that later. It's not, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It works just fine for right now. So anyway, it's my Ford Escape. Any questions again or concerns, feel free to let me know. But yeah, pretty good setup. Alright, see you guys.